your spirit up and shine.
Hello, my friends. Today's video, my mother shares her testimony and story of overcoming sickness and hardships from Mexico, now in the U.S. What an absolute honor that she was invited to speak at Houston Christian University, formerly known as Houston Baptist University. We hope you enjoy, and God bless.
Elena Cortes. How are you? Are you ready to shine your light today? Yes. Awesome. What an honor to be here with you guys. I sat behind the scenes during Convocation many times 30 years ago. And I'm not embarrassed to tell you my age, but I graduated in 1996. I want to share with you a little bit of my story because I am who I am today because of the grace of God. He always protected me. But I want to tell you my story, how it all began. In 1968, I was born, and my mother was dying as she was giving birth. She had a tumor in the back of her brain, and she was diagnosed with a very rare tumor that was cancerous. And they told her, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to give away this baby to your relatives. Where is the father? My father had abandoned us when he found out she was sick. So my mother, because she didn't have anybody in California, she called her sister in Mexico and said, can you come and pick up my little baby because I don't know what's gonna happen to me. And just in case I'm no longer gonna be on this planet, I would like you and my family to raise her. So here I am in Mexico, and I had an amazing childhood. My grandparents took me to the ranch where they had lots of land, and I got to run and climb trees and kind of have a really good and healthy childhood. But I didn't know they were not my parents until I was 9, when a school teacher called me into the office of the principal, and they said, Maria Elena, you're illegal. You are not born in Mexico, and you are not going to be allowed to participate in any more of the extracurricular activities. You cannot be a dance on the Mexican folkloric dance group. You cannot sing in theater. If you want to go continue to school, you need to go to a private school and pay like a tourist. So my heart was broken at 9 years old when I heard this news. First of all, because I found out my grandparents were not my parents. 2, I'm illegal in the country I love and adore. And 3, where are my real parents, right? Well, destiny had something amazing for me. My clicker's not working. But what I wanted to tell you is, before I share this, oh, it's moving too fast. God had a plan for me. And you see, my name is Maria Elena. Elena means light. And my grandpa and my grandma always told me that God had a purpose for me in this planet. And not to be afraid. They always told me, don't worry. Just trust God. Well, how could I trust God when I was confused? I didn't even know where I belonged. In Mexico, I was bullied. They always told me to go back to the U.S. And the few times that I did come to the United States, I didn't speak English. So, and then kids here would say, go back to Mexico. So I didn't really have an identity, or I wasn't really secure of who I was, and I was still in the search for who was my father. I did end up meeting my mother because she survived her rehabilitation. She learned to speak and walk here at the medical center in Houston, Texas. So guess what? After I found out all this information, my grandparents ended up paying a little bit of money to the public school system. They allowed me to stay. I continued to compete, but it was never the same. I was looking and searching of how I could have my light come out, really to shine and glow and be the person that God had intended me to do. But I was a little confused. But guess what? In 5th grade, my mother brought me here to, kind of introduce me to the American world system, and she put me in a private school where I met a lady named Conchita. Conchita was teaching me Spanish and English. She was trying to teach me how to write in Spanish, but also polish my English. Well, Conchita, I was only there with her for a little bit because I only lasted a few months. After 6 months, I got bullied, I got in a fight, and they suspended me from the school for 3 days. And I begged my mom not to let me go back. I said, please let me go back to Mexico. That's where I have the most fun. I can really let my shine, glow. I have lots of friends and family that loves me. I don't feel like I belong here. So, she let me go back. But God had another plan, something very different. I had a nervous breakdown at 16. And I started to get paralyzed, facial paralysis, and then it started to impair my movement. And I called my mom and I said, I want to go to Houston. I want to go to where you got rehabilitated. I want to see if those doctors can help me. So that's exactly what happened, guys. I ended up coming to the medical center where my mother got rehabilitated, met the doctors that helped her walk and speak again, and it was like a miracle. I had made my mother a promise that if I was healed, if God really wanted to heal me and let me shine my light, that I would stay in the United States to speak English, learn to speak English. So, God healed me after 6 months of intensive physical therapy. I healed, and I had to stay to keep my promise. But I told her, only 2 years. In 2 years, I'm going back to Mexico because I love my family over there. I don't have any friends. I don't have anybody here. But God made another miracle. Remember the lady Conchita that taught me English in 5th grade? I found her at the library in downtown. Or she found me. Or maybe God sent her. I don't know. But I know God had a mission and something amazing for me. I had just... I walked into the library, I saw her, she told me hello, and she remembered me from back then, and she goes, wow, so you speak English now? And I said, a little more, I'm making it better. I was going at that time to HCC, just getting my English classes, and I told her, I'm trying to go to college, but it's so expensive. And she said, I can help you. You can apply for scholarships, and you can also apply and get government help. And I thought, how amazing. Okay, show me, because nobody had ever told me this. I was getting ready to go back to Mexico because my 2 years had expired. And I could communicate pretty well in English. Well, I did have a very heavy accent. So I thought, I'm going to stay another year, work on my accent. Accents are beautiful, but I just wanted to sound more native, So what I did is I applied at 3 universities. And a year later, I got accepted at HCU. It changed my life completely. God had a plan for me this whole time. He never abandoned me. And you know what was even more beautiful? I got to share my life here at HCU. Through all the clubs that I joined, I want to encourage each of you to not sit behind the stage. Don't go behind the scenes. Get involved in the school. There's so many clubs and so many things. This really changed my life and really inspired me and motivated me to support the school athletes. I wasn't dating anybody. I had my boyfriend, but I love the sports. And because in Mexico I didn't get to play, I wanted to support the different teams. I became the president of the Baseball Booster Club. And that also opened new doors for me and new friends. And then the other athletes were like, well, if you're supporting the baseball, you better come support the other sports. So that's exactly what I did. I used to go and knock on the doors at the dorm and get the girls out and tell them, come on, let's go to a game. Let's go enjoy support. Let's show our school spirit. Well, I also love taking pictures. So I started taking pictures and submitted them to the Ornoga yearbook and also to the collegiate. All my photos started to get featured and put on the yearbook to my surprise. I found a couple when I went to the library the other day, and I took a picture of one. But this really also helped me to kind of share stories of students that I was meeting here at the university. It taught me to learn how to interview them, get to know them, and learn from them, and learn from their beautiful light that they're also shining and sharing in the campus. So I became the photographer for the yearbook, and that led me to represent the Ornova yearbook in 1994, and I was first runner-up for Miss HCU. Back then, we used to have Miss HCU. I understand you guys don't have that anymore, but it was a really cool experience going out there and also representing the university. What I didn't know, that God was allowing me to come to this university because I was learning how to share my light, but for His glory. I learned that everything I was doing, everything God put in my path was really because He had a plan for me. I became a teacher. I graduated in 1996. I've been teaching for 26 years. I've gone to schools from AIF and HIV and some charter schools, but I'm telling you that HCU prepared me to really enjoy life at a different level. The friendships and the experience that I acquired here at the university have made me who I am today. Throughout, I ended up publishing 2 children's books. One is based on my 2 kids, and to teach them how to get along and live in perfect harmony. The other one is about just short stories about students that cross my path. I love to highlight the art world through murals and beautification projects. I'm not really an expert, but I just love to share my light, and through that light, I share God's love and lots of messages. I love the power of print. I also create flower crowns because I grew up in that farm, remember? Those wild flowers that my grandma used to put in my hair all the time. I think I brought that with me, and that's why I love flowers. I've had the honor now to also perfect my artistic talents and putting them on dresses. What I want people to feel joy and harmony when they wear these dresses. I want them to feel pride and also highlight more the femininity that we are kind of losing as the decades passes by. Here are my 2 children who are now shining their light. Mark is studying to be a PE coach and will graduate next spring of 23. And Alexis just graduated as a PT doctor, and she said she works for Methodist Hospital. How ironic that she's now helping other people rehabilitate and heal, right? The same people that helped my mother and helped myself in the past. God has a plan for us. And sometimes we deviate, we don't listen to His plan because we're so busy trying to fit in and do other things that don't really matter. Today, I just wanted to invite you to share your light. Don't be afraid. Discover your gifts, discover your talents, and then share it with the people you love, especially with your family and your friends. And 5 years ago, I had to battle cancer. Just when I thought everything was good, God always, things happen because that's just part of life. We just have to learn to what? What were the 2 things I said? Trust God. Everybody say, trust God.
Trust God.
And shine my light. Trust Him, because when you trust God, He will give you the strength to overcome any challenges you face in this world. And I'm a testament for that. I am here now, reuniting with some amazing friends and colleagues and professors that inspire me to be who I am today. I am forever grateful to you. I am forever thankful to God, and I will never stop sharing my light. I hope you shine your light as well and share it with the friends and the people that cross your path. Thank you so much, and let's try it out.